Come on, guys, let's bring up the good energy. It's Monday, isn't it? I don't even know what day it is anymore. I mean, my day has been like, oh my God, I need to slow down. How are you doing? Welcome, guys. Feel the joy from Feel the Flow. I love this feeling. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I am one with this flow. I feel strong. I'm in the zone. I have faith. I give thanks. I feel peace. Come with grace. Guys, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. I know I'm coming in whenever I can. Sorry for the surprise mode that I've chosen, but I hope you guys can listen afterwards whenever you have time. And those who are here, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Hour to Empower. I'm here to help you live your best version and your best life every day. Thank you so much for joining me here. I'm going to give it some time just for everybody to jump in slowly, take it easy, welcome. And I think I'm going to switch to a nice background music like I always do for a nice conversation, to relax, to enjoy, to feel good. So feel the joy. We're moving into a more jazzy vibe now. Let me see where I have that. Here we are. You know, I'm my own technician, so I'm not that good at technician still. And let's get the volume in place. Here we are. How is everybody doing? So let's go with questions to start. So there's no rush. Remember that. There's never a rush. So let's slow down and go inside and just question, what was that thing today that's been often on my head and that I am ready to let go of now? Before we start, before we get into the matter, just think of, what is that thing that happened today or yesterday that I've been carrying with me throughout the day that actually doesn't serve me at all, and I'm ready to simply let it go. So find that thing. Let's take a couple of deep breaths together and let's get rid of that so that we can talk with a clean heart, a clear, we want a clean mind, but we also want a clean heart that doesn't feel heavy. And from that space, we'll start talking about today's topic. So slowly, easily, let's enjoy this moment. Take a deep breath in. Close your eyes and just let go whatever it is right now that's not serving you. One more time, take a deep breath in. And think of that, whatever it is, that thing that you've been carrying throughout the day that's been in your mind that needs to go now. And just take a couple of breaths with me. I'm going to count them for you. Let's do this together. And every time you exhale, let go of that doesn't serve you anymore. Okay, so we're going to do counts of 4. Breathe in 4, hold in 4, and when we exhale, we let go of that is not serving us, okay? If you want, because here in Spain it's 7 p.m., so it's a nice time to unwind and relax, but wherever you are, just feel free to put your hands on your heart and let's do this together. So close your eyes and inhale in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and let go in 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Inhale in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and let go in 1, 2, 3, 4. And one last time, identify that which you need to let go. You don't want to take it with you for the rest of your day. It's over. You're leaving it here. Inhale in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. Let it out. Let it out. Now that we got rid of the stuff that we don't need, let's talk about the cool stuff. Let's talk about the real stuff. Wow, I've had today a couple of exciting rooms at Clubhouse. We're doing a series of 10 rooms, Arturo Ramos and myself, and it's been super exciting because we're talking about living with intention and the different aspects of living with intention. And every time the room is filled with different people that share their stories, their experiences, their views, and it's just delightful to see how much we learn from each other. Today we talked about love. Oh man, there was so much silence in that room because when we talk about love, it's like, I don't have words to define love. How do you define love, right? So I want to encourage you, if you are in Clubhouse, follow me and join our rooms. You're going to love it. If you like these lives in my Instagram, you're going to love the rooms. So we're there for you, and it's a space for everybody. So feel free to join and jump in every day from 10 to 11 in the morning in Spain. And so today I wanted to bring a topic that I think we can all relate to, and I'm finding more and more people struggle with because it's a bit of a hidden story, a story that we don't realize, that we don't notice. We think that we need a certain thing, but there's something behind it. There's something that has a priority that's more important, that is actually crucial. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? I don't even know what I'm talking about. What is it? Who was that? I think it was Oscar Wilde or Mark Twain. Well, one of those said something like, sometimes when I talk, I don't even understand myself. Well, this happens to me very often. Especially when I'm trying to share my thoughts with others and I listen to myself and I'm like, I don't even know what I just said. So what am I saying? What am I talking about here? What is this? So the hidden truth we're looking for. We're looking for that which I didn't realize is actually the core. That which is the most important thing for me. Let me tell you a story. Maybe with a story it's easier to understand. So I'm going to tell you a personal story so that we can connect from that space. I have been for the past year trying, and I say trying because the word trying is important here, to start a project of digital health. And it's always been like an exciting thing that I wanted to do and I never got to do. And then, I got started and then I took a step back. Then I got started again and then I took a step back. The problem with this has been that every time I took a step forward and then a step backwards, this stayed in my head. So it didn't matter what I was doing. And I was doing so many other things, like I could have been focused in 100 things, but I was all the time feeling guilty for not taking the steps that I needed to take to get that company started. So what happens with that is, and here's the story that I want to tell. Why didn't I just start that in February last year? You would think, right? Why is it actually happening now? Why didn't it happen in February? Because I had a million excuses not to do it. I was every time so scared of not knowing how to do it that I simply postponed the things every time. If you had asked me then, I wouldn't have noticed that. I would have said, no, this is a priority now. The problem is that we create obligations and needs and priorities in order to hide that which is actually the priority, because we're scared to do it. So since we're scared to do it, it's easier to say, but I don't have time for that anymore. So for example, I have a coaching company. I work as a coach and I do speeches and I give motivational speeches and stuff. So every time I did not work on my digital health company, I had the excuse like, no, I've been coaching so much, I've been extremely busy. Or, there's the pandemic and I had to be with my parents and, my mother wanted to spend time together. So I did that, which doesn't mean that was not important. But what's important here is Am I building up excuses not to go to that which I really need to get solved? This is where I want you to just sit with yourself for a moment and realize what is really urgent in my life right now. What is that which I need to solve in my life right now? That if I get that solved, it's like a door opens, like a weight will be lifted. And many times, let me give you another example of somebody that I know. I'm not going to share anything. Don't worry. If you're listening, don't worry. I'm not going to share your name or anything. Just somebody who needed to make a decision. Now, this person had to make a decision whether to stay in a city or leave the city. And the thing is that decision was very difficult to make because there was something in the way. What was in the way for her? Why couldn't she decide in which city she wanted to live? There was a pending conversation for her. And even though deciding which city to live in was important, and that was where she went to with her mind all the time, the real urgent thing that needed to be solved was a pending conversation with her partner. But that conversation was scary. Can you relate to that? Can you see a moment in your life where you needed to have a conversation, but it was too hard, it was too scary? But the thing with that is, if we don't approach that conversation, that one thing that we're not doing can be the reason why we cannot feel completely connected, present, relaxed with our lives, because we're so deeply scared of taking that step of learning that we block ourselves. I don't know if you guys have your own story. You probably do. We all have a story like that, right? So, the first question is, what are my real priorities right now? What's that one thing that I need to do in my life that if I get that solved, it's gonna give me that feeling of, okay, now that is, we got that done, now I can focus. Maybe you need to talk to a parent. Maybe there's a conversation pending with one of your parents. This is very common. We carry this story with us because we never spoke to our parents about it. And when we do, then suddenly, it's easy. And you work better, and you're a better lover, and you're a better mother and father, and you're better everything just because you had that conversation with your parents. And the thing here is, how do I identify that thing that I need to solve so urgently? Can you see that? I don't know if you guys find it easily. If you don't, try to see. Here's the question for you. If you think like, I don't know what's urgent for me right now. I don't know what that is. Maybe you don't have anything urgent to solve because you're really one of those persons who knows exactly what you need in each moment. You give it to yourself and you solve it quickly and well. Congratulations for that. But normally people, we're not that quick in knowing these things. We need to maybe talk to a friend, have a conversation where we let it out, and then suddenly we realize like, no, this is not what I need. What I actually need, what's urgent for me, is this other thing. So where do I find the answers? What is it that is really urgent for me? Where are your excuses? When you have tasks throughout the day, there are certain things that you cannot not do. You have to do them because they're part of your day. Like, I don't know, if you have children, you're going to have to feed your children. You cannot just choose not to feed the children, right? You have to give them food and prepare breakfast or lunch or whatever it is. Maybe you need to take care of them, or, there are certain things that you will just need to do, which don't count as excuses. They're necessary. Of course they are. But there's a whole set of other things that we do throughout the day that we know deep down inside are simply excuses not to go to that ground important urgent thing. So for example, the story I was telling you about my friend who says, I don't know in which city I want to live. But that was not the real thing. The urgent thing was a conversation with her mother. That was the urgent thing. That's why I say, can you see what's really urgent for you? Find the excuses. Find the excuses that we said, we said excuses to love ourselves. Can you see that? It's incredible how much we do without realizing it. And that's why I want to bring these lives that I do with you guys, because I just want to give you some ideas of awareness around things that we don't notice if nobody says it. You know, how many times do you have an excuse not to love yourself? And I want to say, you know, you would always love yourself. Only those excuses get in the way. And what are they good for, those excuses? What are they calming in your life? What are they silencing? Now that's what we want to see. We want to know. Because the more we know, the more we solve, the lighter life is. So I know we get scared in the beginning, like, I don't want to know, because that's going to be heavy. Yeah, it might be heavy. You're going to cry. That's fine. Cry it out. Get rid of it. Don't let it be a weight on your shoulders. Here's the thing, you know, we create the excuses and then we just live with certain inertia. We don't wait, we don't stop, we don't listen, we don't silence our mind for a moment and just go, hey, what do you need? Just slow down. Just slow down. Especially if you're going very fast, I'm sure you don't know what is really urgent for you right now. So my advice to you will be, slow down. Slow down. And the way to slow down is really, what do you think it is? We want to slow down our inner dialogue. When this dialogue is at full speed, how are you going to even know what is urgent for you? Because your senses can't even respond to the amount of information that is being processed in your mind. We need to slow down, slow down. And so once we slow down and we're able to sit with ourselves and say, okay, I want to know. I want to know what's really urgent for me because I'm carrying something. I don't know what it is. The first thing is, okay, what are the excuses that I'm putting here? For example, what I was telling you about the story about my company, the thing was I needed to face the fact that there were things I don't know how to do. And I needed to face the fact that I was going to need to ask for help. But once I realized that, and I had the conversation with the person who will be my partner, and I said, look, I know about this, this, and this. I don't know about this, this, and this. He said, okay, we got this. I have a company for that. We got this. Then everything was easy again. You know, it was like, why didn't I just have this conversation at the very beginning? But I get trapped, right? And this is so normal in our lives. You know, this person who doesn't talk to their partner, and they need to talk to their partner to make a decision. How can you keep going in life without making the decision, feeling the unrest, the stress of not making a decision is the worst stress there is. So always ask yourself, what's the urgent thing I need to do right now so that I can go ahead and make a decision? You know, every time we stand in that, I don't know, that is ruminating in our brains. It's just taking away our energy. And it's one thing, you're creating excuses not to really go and act upon it. Or there's a pending conversation that you're not having. Who do you need to talk to in order for you to solve this? Who can give you light? Let's see what's going on over here. Guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. It's good to see you guys, and I'm so glad that you could join even if it's at this time. Hadri, let's see. We should make the most of our time because life is pretty short and there's no time for hate. We should spread love constantly. God bless you, teacher. God bless you, Hadri. Thank you so much for that beautiful message. And it's so true, right? You know, we spend so much time in that inner voice and that energy that is so heavy that we forget to just liberate that energy, just focus and approach it. You know, if we didn't have the fear, we would just go ahead and have those pending conversations. If we didn't have that fear, we would just go ahead and remove all the excuses and do, right? So, but do see the other side. Once I release that feeling, once I release that need to understand, to decide, to do, you know, that's when I'm flowing with life. So that scary conversation, that pending conversation, that need to make a decision, to go ahead and do, that is what's going to set you free. So the one thing that you need to figure out is, what is it that is really urgent in my life for me right now? If I get this solved, my life will just go, just be on fire. I'll just be doing and going, enjoying, living, thriving, living my best, because I'll be totally connected. But there's something that I need to solve. What is it? What is it that if you solve it right now, you're free? See, because we get caught up in those inner narratives. So let me just ask you one thing. How much can you observe your inner narrative? Or are you the kind of person that when you think, you become your thought? You don't see the difference between the thought and the observer of the thought. Or are you really able to do that? Is it easy for you? For example, when you listen to me right now, can you listen to that voice inside your head that is talking at the same time while you listen? And can you observe that? See, that is where there's so much information. There's so much information there. Because the more you can become an observer of that inner dialogue, the more you can understand what you need. What is it that, my inner dialogue is not letting me sleep because of this? What do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? Pick up the phone, make that phone call. Go and approach that person you need to talk to. Go and do that which you're avoiding constantly. Because until you release yourself from that, your whole energy is going towards that. That's easy to see, right? There's a resistance. I feel so trapped in this. It's like such a typical thing that human beings do. And it has to do with the fact that we don't stop and question our inner dialogue and see what's going on. And you will notice this because, when we create excuses, it means that we choose to do things that are not that core thing that we urgently need to do. So what happens is that while I'm doing that other thing that I use, my excuse thing, that looks very urgent to others, but I know deep down inside that I use it as an excuse from that other thing, I have this other thing in my head all the time. I'm not focused where I am. But when I release that, when I solve that, when I go and approach what needs to urgently be solved, whatever I'm doing right now, because there's nothing pending. And this is a question that you need to ask yourself. What is pending? Is there anything pending? And how would I feel if I got rid of that idea that it's pending? And sometimes, hey, don't think that everything needs to be solved through speaking to somebody or doing things. Maybe the only thing you need, and I say only, it's actually the biggest thing, you need to forgive. You need to accept. Or simply you need to slow down. And that'll be it. So really observe what that urgency represents. Where is it? And don't let it sit there, because it's like it's there and it's always with you. But once you remove it, then you're looking forward. You can see, right? Like if I don't have this thing, I'm not carrying this thing in the back, I can just push forward. If I'm carrying this thing, I have like a pull energy all the time. I want to move forward, but I'm not 100% there. So what happens if I don't solve that? What kind of life do you think we live if we don't solve that urgency? That urgent matter, that thing which I really need to get solved. What happens when I don't do that? It's very difficult to stay in the present moment. Very difficult, because there's, again, that inner dialogue is going to tend to go to the past and to the future, to the past and to the future, because this thing is unresolved. So it's important to know that every time we choose not to resolve something, we carry it with us. This is like, here, let me give you something like a metaphor that is very clear. If I tell you a secret, and it's a very exciting secret about someone super famous, and you carry that secret, what happens every time you encounter other people who know this person, who talk about this person? So I don't know, let's imagine I have a secret about, name somebody super famous. Give me a name. Give me a super famous person. Trying to think. I'm blank. No name coming out. As if I don't know famous people. Give me a name, guys. Please help me. Give me one name of a famous person that pops up right now. Just quickly. Quickly. A name. Of one famous person. I can only think of dead people. What's going on with me? I want to use someone who's alive. Help me out, guys. Give me the name of one famous person who's alive. Elon Musk. Let's say Elon Musk, okay? Tom. Beautiful Places on Earth says Tom. Tom Cruise. Let's say Tom Cruise then. See, Hadri, I was thinking of Michael Jackson too, but Michael Jackson is dead, so I can't really tell you a secret about him because it's not going to have the sauce and the spice that I'm looking for. So Tom Cruise works perfectly. Thank you so much. Tom Cruise. So imagine I know a secret about Tom Cruise, and it's a juicy secret. It's very interesting, and it has to do with you and me and people maybe here in my surroundings, people that I know. And I tell you this secret, right? And then you carry this secret. And you cannot tell anybody because you promised me you're not going to tell anybody. But the thing is that now when you see someone else and they talk about Tom Cruise, you're going to be like, I cannot talk about the secret. I cannot talk about the secret. Now the person is talking. You're not paying attention to this person because you're thinking, I cannot tell this person the secret. I cannot tell this person the secret. And then you see another person. And nobody ever talked about Tom Cruise until that day when you have a secret about Tom Cruise. Isn't that always so funny? You know, I never talk about Tom Cruise, but now that I carry a secret about Tom Cruise, I cannot, everyone is talking about Tom Cruise. What happens with that? What would you say is that feeling that is crippling in you? The thing that happens there is that the secret becomes the center of attention for you. That secret is your center of attention. So we're no longer having a smooth, present conversation. We're talking with the secret in the middle that I'm not sharing with you because we have, I've decided not to tell anybody about the secret, but I know the secret is there. Now, in a metaphor, this is the same idea as having somebody with an urgent matter that needs to be solved that doesn't resolve this matter. You carry it with you wherever you go. And when you carry it with you wherever you go, it's always present. It's with you. So you can't really do the things you do in your daily life freely because you're constantly with that thing in the middle. The moment you unlock that urgency and you realize that if you solve it, it disappears, then we can come closer and start talking. Do you see that? How does this make you feel? Do you identify at all with it? Have you ever experienced this? Have you been able to find in your life that which you didn't realize was really urgent for you? But when you solved it, it felt like the whole world lifted off your shoulders. It's so funny because I've had so many clients and even friends that I talk to and people that myself included, of course, I told you my story at the very beginning, that we don't realize how many excuses we put not to address the urgent matter. And I love it when I get that phone call from that friend or client or people that I work with and say, you know what? I've made a decision. And I know at that moment when they call me and they say I made a decision, that they lifted their weights, that they solved their urgent matters, that they realized what the real urgency was. Here's one, the typical one. I mean, you've heard this 100 times. People who are so busy. I'm so busy. And they're so stressed and they're so stressed and and it's so busy and so busy. And so busy and so stressed and so busy and so stressed. And then they come to me. Jess, I need your help. I need to find my center. I need to fix my conversations with my boss because I don't have good relationship with my boss. And I need to exercise. I need to find time to exercise. I need to be a better lover and a better mother. But I'm so busy, but I'm so busy, but I'm so busy, but I'm so busy. And I just, you listen. The of the therapist is so funny. I always, there's that joke, right, from the therapist that is always like, doesn't open their mouths. But deep down inside, what's going on with me is I know that there's something behind that. It's underneath this whole story of I'm busy and this and that and I want to be a better mother and this. What's urgent for you right now? What is really urgent? And so many times, things come up that are like, wow, I didn't even think of this. And this is actually the most important thing for me. You would have people break down and say, you know what I need? I need to spend time with my parents. And you're like, where did that come from? Because you didn't even mention your parents. But they realize that is something that they carry with them. That there's this guilt about their parents and this and that. And then, this is when I get those phone calls and they say, you know what? I've made a decision. I'm going to take 5 days off. I'm going to spend it with my parents. 5 days with my parents. That's what I needed. That was urgent. And that was not happening. And as Hardy was saying, life doesn't wait for you. Life is not here saying, oh, you tell me whenever you have time, we can get together and do this, It has to happen now. If it's urgent, do it now, today. No postponing, no excuses, no pending conversations. Have the conversation now. Go and do whatever you need to do now. Because once you lift that weight, that feels so good. And you know what comes with it? Decisions, focus. You know what you're doing. You love everybody around you because there's no secret in the middle between you and me anymore. We're just smoothly talking, you and I. That's it. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to think about. The inner dialogue becomes softer. The inner dialogue is more focused. We are able to be present. So, with this said, I'm going to have to go, but I want to leave you with those thoughts and with that one question. What is that one thing that right now you need to solve urgently? And that if you solve it, it will lift a huge weight in your life. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this helps. Feel free to reach out whenever you need it. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. I love you. Bye-bye. Shall we end with our song? Let me see if I can get that done. I'm the technician now. Technician is going to start working. I need to figure out a better way of doing this, but you guys forgive me. I know that. Okay, wait, because the song. Here we are. Let's get the energy up. Good energy. Get the energy of, I lifted that weight and it feels so good. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you, beautiful places on earth. Las sonrisas del corazón. Eli, love you. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. Miguel Angel, thank you for wanting to join. Gotta go. Another day we'll do that. We'll do one open one when we can all join. Take care, you guys. With this love, that is why I'm so strong. Feel the joy. can feel the flow. Bye guys, I'm leaving. I'd stay here for 6 hours because it's always fun to get together, and I hope this helps. Take care. Bye-bye.